Fellow gardeners, let me share something that completely transformed my watermelon harvests. After years of watching my watermelon plants produce more leaves than fruit, I discovered the secret isn't just about planting and hoping for the best. It's about understanding when and how to feed these hungry giants, and more importantly, knowing which parts to prune to redirect all that energy into growing the sweetest, juiciest melons you've ever tasted. Whether you're a weekend warrior tending to a small backyard patch or someone who's been gardening for decades, mastering watermelon fertilization and pruning will take your harvest from disappointing to absolutely spectacular. Trust me, once you see the difference proper care makes, you'll wonder why you waited so long to learn these techniques. Watermelons are like marathon runners of the plant world. They need different fuel at different stages of their growth, and getting this timing wrong is where most gardeners stumble. During the early vegetative stage, your plants crave nitrogen to build strong vines and lush foliage. But here's where it gets interesting. Once flowering begins, too much nitrogen actually works against you, encouraging more leaves at the expense of fruit development. I learned this lesson the hard way when my first watermelon patch looked like a jungle, but produced melons the size of softballs. The key is shifting your fertilization strategy as your plants mature. Think of it as changing gears in a car. Each stage requires a different approach to get optimal performance. The magic happens when you understand that watermelons go through 3 distinct nutritional phases: establishment, flowering, and fruit development. Miss any of these phases or feed incorrectly, and you'll be left scratching your head wondering why your neighbor's melons are twice the size of yours. When your watermelon seedlings first hit the soil, they're like hungry teenagers who need constant nourishment to build their foundation. During the first 4 to 6 weeks, focus on providing balanced nutrition with a slight emphasis on nitrogen. I use a 10-10-10 fertilizer applied every 2 weeks, but here's the crucial part. Always water deeply after fertilizing to prevent root burn. The soil temperature should be consistently above 70 degrees Fahrenheit before you even think about transplanting, and this is also when your fertilization schedule begins. Mix compost into your planting area beforehand, creating a nutrient-rich foundation that will support your plants throughout the growing season. Watch for the first true leaves to appear, which signals that your plants are ready for their first feeding. Apply fertilizer in a circle around each plant, about 6 inches from the stem. This encourages the roots to spread outward, creating a stronger root system that can support heavy fruit later in the season. Here's where many gardeners make their biggest mistake. When you see the first flowers appearing, it's time to dramatically reduce nitrogen and increase phosphorus and potassium. This shift usually happens around 6 to 8 weeks after planting. But watch your plants, not just the calendar. Switch to a fertilizer with a ratio like 5-15-15 or even better. Use a bloom booster specifically designed for fruiting plants. The higher phosphorus content promotes flower development and fruit set, while potassium strengthens the plant's overall structure and improves fruit quality. I apply this flowering fertilizer every 3 weeks during the blooming period, but here's a pro tip. Never fertilize when the soil is dry. Always water first, fertilize, then water again lightly. This prevents nutrient burn and ensures even distribution throughout the root zone. Pruning watermelons isn't about randomly cutting vines, it's about strategic energy redirection. Most gardeners are afraid to prune their watermelon plants, thinking more vines equal more fruit. The opposite is actually true. By pruning correctly, you concentrate the plant's energy into fewer but much larger and sweeter melons. Start by identifying your main vine, which should be the strongest and most vigorous. Allow this main vine to grow freely, but watch for secondary vines that branch off from it. Here's the golden rule. Keep only 2 to 3 secondary vines per plant and remove all others. This might feel brutal at first, but trust the process. Alright, so you'll want to remove any vines that aren't producing flowers or fruit once they reach about 3 feet in length. These energy vampires are, just stealing resources from your productive vines. Make sure to use clean, sharp pruning shears and cut at a 45-degree angle to help prevent water from pooling and causing rot. Once your melons start forming, the real art of pruning begins. Each vine should only support 1 or 2 melons maximum. I know it's tempting to let every little melon grow, but remember, quality over quantity every time. Choose the largest, most perfectly shaped young melons and remove all others on that vine. Prune the growing tip of each vine once it extends 2 to 3 feet beyond your chosen melon. This stops the vine from putting energy into new growth and redirects everything into fruit development. The difference this makes in final fruit size and sweetness is absolutely dramatic. Remove any leaves that are shading your developing melons. Watermelons need direct sunlight to develop their signature sweetness, and good air circulation around the fruit prevents fungal problems that can ruin your harvest. During the final fruit development stage, your fertilization strategy needs one more adjustment. Reduce feeding frequency to once every 4 weeks, but increase potassium levels even more. I use a fertilizer with minimal nitrogen, moderate phosphorus, and high potassium, something like 2-8-20. This high potassium feeding during the last month before harvest dramatically improves fruit quality. Potassium is directly responsible for sugar development and overall fruit flavor. Many commercial growers guard this secret closely, but I'm sharing it with you because every home gardener deserves restaurant-quality melons. Stop fertilizing completely during the last 2 weeks before harvest. This forces the plant to use stored nutrients, concentrating flavors, and improving the melon's storage life after picking. The timing of both fertilization and pruning can make or break your watermelon harvest. Begin your fertilization program immediately after transplanting, but wait until plants are well established before starting any pruning. Never prune or fertilize stressed plants, and always avoid working with your plants when they're wet to prevent disease spread. Monitor your plants daily during the flowering period. This is when your attention to detail pays the biggest dividends. Remove spent flowers, prune excessive growth, and maintain your feeding schedule religiously. Consistency during this critical period determines your final harvest quality. Weather plays a huge role in timing as well. During hot, dry periods, increase watering frequency but maintain your fertilization schedule. During cool, wet periods, reduce feeding frequency slightly and be extra vigilant about pruning to improve air circulation. Remember, fellow gardeners, growing exceptional watermelons isn't about luck or natural talent. It's about understanding what your plants need at each stage of growth and having the confidence to take action. These techniques have transformed countless gardens, and they'll work for yours too. Ready to grow the watermelons that will make your neighbors jealous? Hit that subscribe button to join our Soil Sensei community, and don't forget to share this article with your fellow gardeners. Together, we're cultivating not just better gardens but a deeper understanding of the amazing plants we grow. What questions do you have about watermelon care? Drop them in the comments below.